All right, Jesse on fire. So we're going to talk about Israel Adesanya because he did something yesterday. He made some statements that are very notable because he lied. He outright lied. And right in our faces too. Like he lied about a thing that I don't like. It's like, hey, dude, why are you lying about that? And you want to know how we all know that you're lying about that? Because you put out a piece of content that had you on tape saying a thing, and then you just said a thing. You just said something absolutely 180 degrees contradicting that. And so I'm like, why would he lie about that? Only thing I could come up with is he's feeling the heat, dude. He's feeling the heat. He's been watching some content. He's like, man, people really did not like the thing that I said. Maybe I should scale it back a little bit. And I was going to say to that, dude, you are playing the heel to masterclass level. Why would you take the foot off the gas? Own it, dude. Head first. Don't start feeling the heat now, dude. Don't start being nice now. And definitely don't start lying about things where we know you're lying. That's just, like, what's your point? Makes you look weak. Be strong. Play the heel is my suggestion. But I'm going to show you guys what he lied about. And then he also said some other things in this statement that were, I don't know, like just kind of bizarre to me, where it's like, you took credit for that? You think that, like, you did that? Anyway. And also, listen, I was at UFC 287, 10 feet from the octagon in the front row. So when Izzy knocked out Alex, I literally had the best moment of my entire UFC fandom career. And I have such an incredible amount of gratitude to Izzy for that moment because it was so inspiring and awesome. And every single thing about it was incredible that I was like, I'm going to root for Izzy no matter what. No matter what, no matter what. That dude's my guy. I will always root for him no matter who he's fighting or what the situation is. And the universe is all, are you sure? I'm like, yes, I'm sure. You don't think there's anything he could do that would make you want to root for someone else? I'm like, no, there's not. And then they're like, all right, well, here's this. And so you're saying that you want Dricus to lose this fight. And I'm like, well, no, I don't. I think Dricus is acting like a total class act. Right, but you said you'd always root for Izzy, which means that you want Dricus to lose. I'm like, I mean, no, I kind of want them both to win. Don't flip. No, you have to root for one of them. Great. So anyway, that's why this is extra interesting. And then I also am going to point out something to everyone about Israel Adesanya in this situation that no one has said yet. That might be one of the most notable things that's ever happened in combat sports ever. Chael mentioned it kind of. He said that he's coming for Conor McGregor's position. And I want to comment on that now in a way that kind of encompasses this whole thing. Also, before we get started, I wanted to say that I heard Unique was talking about me on his channel saying I was starred in Star Trek as Quirk. Also, I heard there's a subreddit group that has a new nickname for me that is pretty funny, dude. Pretty clever. Fighter and the Kid subreddit has the one thing that I will give them incredible props on is those guys can come up with a nickname better than any group of people I've ever seen. The best one of all time, though, and maybe you guys can, maybe someone a little bit better versed in every nickname they've ever done might disagree, but in my opinion, the best internet nickname ever created by man is Big Gay Lion for Mark Forbes Hamley. Cold turkey may be great on sandwiches, but there's a better way to break your bad habits. We're not talking about some weird mind voodoo from your crazy neighbor. We're talking about our sponsor, Fume, and they look at the problem in a different way. Not everything in a bad habit is wrong, so instead of a drastic, uncomfortable change, why not just remove the bad from your habit? Fume is an innovative, award-nominated device that does just that. Instead of electronics, Fume is completely natural. Instead of vapor, Fume uses flavored air. And instead of harmful chemicals, Fume uses all natural, delicious flavors. You get it. Instead of bad, Fume is good. It's a habit you're free to enjoy and makes replacing your bad habit easy. Your Fume comes with an adjustable airflow dial and is designed with movable parts and magnets for fidgeting, giving your fingers a lot to do, which is helpful for de-stressing and anxiety while breaking your habit. Now, Fume just released some new flavors on June 30th. These are amazing. You have orange vanilla, raspberry lemonade, sparkling grapefruit. I'm a big fan of the orange vanilla. Now, if you haven't seen me talk about this product before, I do use it. It's excellent. I am a fidgeter, man. I use this because I am a fidgeter. I want something to do. That is why I personally use Fume, and it works for that for sure. It's a lot better than the alternative. And these things taste great. I'm telling you, man. Orange vanilla is the bomb. Stopping is something we all put off because it's hard, but switching to Fume is easy, enjoyable, and fun. Fume has served over 100,000 customers and has thousands of success stories, and there's no reason that can't be you.
Join Fume in accelerating humanity's breakup from destructive habits by picking up the Journey Pack today. Head to tryfume.com/Jesse or scan the QR code and use the promo code Jesse to get 10% off when you try the Journey Pack today. That's tryfum.com and use the code Jesse to save an additional 10% off your order today.
So if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, go ahead and do that. That would be incredible. And, if you hate the content, that's fine. You should subscribe too, though, because then you'll know when I upload it. You can be like, I'm going to go hate. I hate. But since 98% of you guys like my content, I would appreciate it if you would subscribe if you haven't. All right, so where did Izzy lie? Let's start right there. So here is the context of what he said. I just lost my SHIT. Israel Adesanya recounts moments from Dricus du Plessis' stunning UFC 290 win to fiery face-off. That is the longest, that is a crazy headline. That's like 7 sentences. So here's the lie, right? According to Israel Adesanya, in regards to what he would say to Dricus du Plessis after his UFC 290 finish of Robert Whittaker, I'm sorry. Jesus, I misread that. Sorry. According to Israel Adesanya, he had no plan in place in regards to what he would say to Dricus du Plessis after his UFC 290 finish of Robert Whittaker. Wait a second. He had no plan in place for what he was going to say. Interesting. I feel as though Israel Adesanya put out a video, which I did a video on, in which he showed an interview of himself in a previous session where he said, I'm just going to walk up on him and be all, what's up? What's up? And he literally said exactly what he was going to do. He visualized it, and then it came true. That's why we did the video on it, because you said in plain English, here's exactly what I'm going to do. So you come out a week later and say you had no plan. Why? Why on earth would you do that? And here is what I think is going on, right? So he's like, I felt myself turn. So I felt myself turn. I just snapped, man. I just snapped. I didn't have a plan. Like, I'm not responsible for the things that I said. And I said already, let me just make this perfectly clear, okay? I said yesterday, I don't care what he says, okay? I don't care at all. I don't care. He's like best friends with a bunch of white guys. I don't believe that he's racist. I just don't care. A black dude saying that word to other black dudes is not, it's like, it doesn't even mean the same thing. It's like an in-group greeting. You know what I mean? It's like if I rolled up on some Mexican dude and started calling him Esse, they would just be like, you know what I mean? What's up, Esse? They'd be like, what? You can't call me Esse, bro. Okay? Hey, you can't call me Esse because you're not a Mexican. What are you doing? You sound like a moron. Okay? Esse, Mexican to Mexican, is the same as the N-word from black person to black person. Okay? Now, is a white person calling a black person an N-bomb the same as calling someone Esse? No, it's a different word. It is literally a different word. Nonetheless, I don't understand why he's pretending as though he didn't have this plan, but I think it's because people are breaking his balls and he's losing his resolve. Because watch this. I felt myself turn. He worked hard. I manifest for myself, and I make sure I do the work to get the manifesting. It's not like kumbaya, blah, blah, blah. I manifest everything, and then it comes true. Okay, so here. So he says, yeah, right here. He worked hard. That sounds like you're giving credit to Dricus. It sounds like you're being nice, right? It sounds like you're being nice. And then down here, he says, shout out to Dricus for getting that win. What? Not a lot of people were picking him to win, but I was picking him so I could fight him. Dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you doing this? Shout out to Dricus for working hard and getting the win. Not a lot of people were picking him to win, but I was picking him so I could fight him. This is a backpedal. You know what I mean? This is a backpedal, and there's no reason for the backpedal. As a matter of fact, the backpedal is completely counterproductive to what you're trying to do. Don't be nice. Just own this, dude. All of this stuff is like fleeting, passing nonsense. There's no one who really, I mean, I don't think there's anybody who actually thinks that Izzy's a racist, okay? And you're black, dude. You should be able to have the racism thing just slide right off your back. It's a little harder when you're white. You know, people are like, this guy is a racist. You're like, you know what I mean? Like, if someone really said that and there's something that you said that might kind of indicate that maybe you were racist, I understand being like, whoa. I am not a racist, man. No. I can understand that situation. But Izzy's black, dude. Calling him a racist, like, he should just be like, shut up. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that black people can't get racist. I'm saying that black people shouldn't need to be like self-conscious about people accusing them of racism if they're not racist, is my point. Because that's what this looks like to me. Why are you backpedaling? Why are you being nice all of a sudden? I mean, all I can read into this is like people are giving him shit and he's like, credit to Drickus. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but you'll understand why my point is what it is when I talk about the back half of this, which is what Izzy has actually done here, which in my opinion is potentially the historic single greatest piece of combat sports marketing in history. Okay? Maybe. Not that this is the most meaningful fight in history, but maybe the single greatest piece of marketing. That's a ridiculous statement, actually. I haven't put any thought into this, but it's one of them. And I'll tell you exactly why I say that, right? Or how I'm qualifying that. As a matter of fact, I'll talk about that right now. Okay. So the only other thing that I was going to say about this article is that Izzy is talking about his ability to manifest things into real life. I manifest things. Literally, all of this is about manifestation and positive affirmations and visualizing what you want and then picturing it 1,000 times. That stuff does work. If you think that doesn't work, you're out of your mind. This channel is proof of that. I use those methods. I did the work. This channel exists. And now I'm friends with all the guys. Like, literally, like in my best case scenario, it was that I knew, like, it was in my best case scenario how I visualized the channel, and I knew that this would happen eventually. At least I believed that it would happen. Was that, like, I would put up a video and I could have relatively decent confidence that Chael would see it. That's how I was like, because, you know, when I started, Chael was already, you know, I mean, he was the dawn of YouTube. And now I text message with Chael every day, okay? So it does work. Nonetheless, what I wanted to comment on this, though, was like his statements, it sounds like he's actually taking credit for Drickus winning, though. You know? And I realize, like, he's like, you know, shout out for him to do the work. But, like, if you actually read this whole thing, which I'm not going to put you guys through, it's on MMA Fighting if you guys want to read it. It sounds awful lot like he's, like, straight up taking credit for the win. And I'm like, I mean. But, again, this also plays into the point that I'm going to make in a second, which is this, right? When I say that this might be the single greatest piece of marketing ever in combat sports, I'm not saying that Izzy is like doesn't mean what he's saying. I think Izzy lives this thing where he's in his own movie. I mean, I know he does because he says it. He's the star of his own movie. Okay. So I do think that he has taken this personally. I do think that, like, you know, when he's doing the end, like, he has created this world where Drickus meant he's more African than him, even though that's not what he said. I think he's doing, but I think he's crazy, and I think he's doing it on purpose to create a big narrative around their fight, because not only does it market the fight well, but it makes it huge and the stakes huge for himself when he's training, and then he gets to go in there and then have another moment. When he had the moment when he knocked out Alex, he was like, you could never understand what this feels like. Okay, well, if you go in and knock out some nobody, that doesn't mean, that's not going to give you that moment. You need the stakes to be big. You need the whole world watching you. The stakes of the fight need to be big for you to have that moment. So he's doing it selfishly, and simultaneously he is marketing to the whole world and making the fight exciting. So I do think that he actually believes all this stuff. But here's the point I'm going to make, okay? This is the point I want to make about why I say this might be the single greatest marketing thing for a fight ever, okay? I want to take you back right here to, let's just pick one. How about this one? Okay, 1 year ago, Drickus du Plessis is fighting against Brad Tavares on the undercard of International Fight Week, the one where Adesanya fought against Cannonier. Okay? No one knew who he was. Okay? No one knew who he was. Drickus du Plessis was like, I mean, you know, like, we knew who he was. It was kind of like a, oh yeah, that guy, he had a good fight against Trevin Giles like a year ago, I guess. You know? He had two He had 2 fights in the UFC, and they were like a year apart. So it's like it's not like he's like a known entity. And it's not like nothing like happened in that Brad Tavares fight where people be like, oh, Dricus du Plessis really is on the radar. Then he fought against Darren Till. The only reason that this was notable is because we all wanted Darren Till to get a W, and then we were really disappointed that he didn't get it done. So it's not like anybody was like, wow, Dricus, this guy's really, we're just like, man, Darren Till just can't get it together, Like that's the impression. He's still nobody in December of 2022. He's you know what I mean? Like, seriously, think about Dricus du Plessis' situation and his profile in the UFC. No one knew who he was. You couldn't, I'm sure that if you asked 100 UFC fans who had just watched that fight, hey, what country is Dricus du Plessis from? They'd be like, I don't know, Switzerland or something, Sweden? I don't know. Where's he from? Du Plessis sounds French. Okay? No one had even known what country he's from. Okay? They wouldn't have even known what country he's from. That's a good way to know how big of a star someone is. Everyone knows what country every big star is from. Okay? If you don't know if half the people don't know what country they're from, if 90% of the people don't know what country they're from, they're a nobody. Okay? They're just another person in the UFC. And that is exactly what he was. He fights Derek Brunson. Okay? Same thing, dude. Honestly. On the Jones versus Gane fight, it's like, he's a little bit more on the map because he beat Darren Till, but, he's not like a big name, dude. He's just not a big name. You need 2 big names for there to be a huge, huge fight that people are highly anticipating, okay? Think about how highly anticipated this fight is now between Dricus du Plessis and Israel Adesanya. Okay, really think about how big this fight is for us, for real combat sports fans. And the reason why that's notable is because it's such a big fight to us that it is going to lead to it being a really big fight to regular normie casuals. Because when it's coming up, people are going to be like, wait, what fight is on? And you're going to be like, Israel Adesanya. And they're going to be like, oh, who's he fighting? And you're like, okay, he's fighting this dude Dricus, but this is not like, you've never heard of Dricus, but trust me, you have to watch this fight. Because blah, 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 real African champion. And then, dude, he got in the octagon. He started dropping N-bombs. He went crazy, dude. He lost his mind. Dirt. And then they'll be like, oh, shit, I guess I got to get this fight. Okay? That is how really big fight cards happen, is because there's such a great story around the fight between 2 guys. One of them has to be a really big star. And that is how this happens. Okay? Dricus was no one. He was a nobody, okay? He beat Robert Whittaker. Robert Whittaker doesn't have a huge... Robert Whittaker is an incredible fighter. Outside of the really, really strong combat sports community, he's not like some huge mainstream star at all, okay? What has happened between Izzy and Dricus du Plessis to make this fight such a huge draw? This is 100% on Izzy. Izzy did this. He turned this from some guy that has one really notable win over a top 5 guy, okay, that no one really knew his name. There's nothing, he's just some honestly, like if you were going to be like, what's special about Dricus? I'd be like, I don't know, he fights kind of dirty. They're all, but what's like notable about him? I'd be like, he fights kind of sloppy. He's just like a white dude. He doesn't have any, he's just some rando white guy. He doesn't have any notable tattoos. There's nothing really super notable. Like, it's like, you know what I mean? There's like, and now he is this South African hero that is trying to represent the entire continent of Africa against Israel Adesanya, who has a serious problem with it, and he's turned it into a race war, and it's turned into this philosophical conversation about whether being African has anything to do with your race or your skin color and blah, blah. It's like, dude, Izzy created a fucking masterpiece here. And you could be mad about what he did. You can hate on what he did, but like, what are we all doing here? You know what I mean? What are we all doing? We're combat sports fans. We like seeing people violently attack each other. We like to see 2 men get into a cage, fight until one of them's unconscious. Okay? That's why we all love this sport. And if they hate each other, have a serious problem, or the stakes are big, it makes it that much better. So, if you are a genuine fan of combat sports and you do not respect and give credit to what Izzy did here, because Izzy is the one who did this, okay? Izzy is 100% the one who did this. If you can't do that, then, I don't know, set your biases down. Just purely as a combat sports fan, look at what he actually did here. Drickus, I do not believe Drickus is trying to bait him. I think Drickus just said, like, I still live in Africa. I breathe African air. I'm going to be the first person to bring a belt back to Africa because that is notable, and he would be the first person to ever do that lives in Africa. He never said he was more African than anybody. He never said that. Someone said that to me in the comments yesterday where they were like, Jesse, you're looking at this through the perspective of a white person. Drickus saying he's more African than Izzy is really insulting. I'm like, well, yeah, that would be, except that's not what he said at all. It's not what he said at all. They were like, go talk to a black person from Africa. I was like, ooh, I'm sorry, but you might not have known this, but I have a podcast weekly with the Osundairo brothers, who are both Nigerian, black, and we talked about this for an hour a week ago, and here's the link, and they're on my side, so, I did do that. I did that. But again, disagreeing with my position is based on not having seen what Drickus actually said, because anyone who actually saw what he said, it's really weird. It's like a weird phenomenon. Once someone says a thing, it just becomes like gospel. It's like, he said he's more African. It's like, no, he did. He definitely 100% did not. Yes, he did. No, he didn't. Go find the tape. And it's like, here's Izzy saying he said he's more African. It's like, okay, Izzy said that Drickus said it. I say, find the video of Drickus saying it. It doesn't exist. He just said he's going to be the first person who lives in Africa to bring the belt back to Africa. He lives in Africa. He never left. He's going to be the first one who still lives there. Fact. He was born in Africa. Fact. He had nothing to do with anything that the ancestors did. Fact. So that is what I wanted to say on that topic. Now, Jesse on Fire, reveal what you were going to tell us about the subreddit group's nickname for you. It's Methy on Fire. Oh, man. That's good. You want to know why why I've always liked Unique so much? Is because you can't make him mad. Like, you cannot make Unique mad. Everybody can be made mad, right? But, like, you can't make fun of Unique and him get mad of nothing that you could make fun of Unique about would have him like,
Did he seriously say that I sound like that? I could say a lot of really mean things about you, Jesse on Fire, but I don't. And you are imitating my way.
Like, he never gets mad, dude. He just doesn't get mad. And I love that. And here's the thing. The way that I assess who I like, a really, really good way for me to know if I'm going to like you or not, is if you can take people breaking your balls and laugh and not get mad. Because that means I can fuck with you and you won't be a crybaby. Because you certainly can fuck with me and I won't be a crybaby. You know what I mean? He called me Quirk. So Unique is a dude who I teased who sounds like this.
Jesse on Fire was an ugly dude, man.
And he said that I look like this guy in response. It's so funny because it's true. Like, if I was going to be the ugliest alien in human history, you know what I mean? Look at it. It's just funny, dude. It's funny. Anybody would get mad at that. I'm like, he called me Quirk.
I am not an alien with a big forehead and ears. Boo.
So you want to call me Methy on Fire? It's pretty funny, dude. It's funny. There's probably a better one, though. I've been trying to think all morning. I'm like, Methy on Fire is funny. But I haven't come up with a better one. Big Gay Lion is unbeatable. You will never come up with a funnier nickname than Big Gay Lion for Mark Forbes Hanley. As a matter of fact, let me show you guys that really quick. So I like me some Mark Forbes Hanley. But bottom line, if you saw this photograph and someone said, you know what? I think his nickname is Big Gay Lion. If you don't laugh at that, I got nothing for you, dude. It's the single best internet nickname ever. It's so sad, dude. Look at him and Brendan during better times. But yeah, Methy on Fire, dude. God, there's got to be a better one, dude. Jesse on Crack. For the record, I've never even seen crystal meth. True story. I have and believe me, I've seen plenty of drugs. I have literally never even seen crystal meth in person before. Methy on Jesse on. Like Jesse on seems like the better way to do it would be Jesse on whatever. But Methy on fire is pretty good, and I can't think of a better one right now. Jesse on crack. Jesse on meth. Jesse on meth is actually pretty good. Methy on fire or Jesse on meth? I can't decide. I can't decide which I think would be funnier. I don't know. That's why Reddit's good, because things get upvoted and you can see what's the funniest thing. I think that Reddit has, I don't know. What's the right word? It's a great system, but like, I don't know. There's a lot of great memes on Reddit. And the UFC Reddit is awesome. I don't know. Whatever, dude. I wish I could. If you know what, you guys, if you can think of a funnier nickname than Methy on Fire, put it in the comments. Definitely do that. Anyway, that's what I got. Unique is my dude. Unique is unique. Listen!
Jesse, I heard you're going to be at the Jake Paul and Nate Diaz fight on August 5th. Is this true?
It is, dude. I'm going to be there.
Well, I have a ticket. And I'm going to see Jake Paul get put on ball bearings. And when he finally bites the dust, everyone will know that Jake Paul is the champion of getting knocked out. Logan Paul's a scammer.
Dude, you know what I realized, speaking of this? We are staying at Fighter Hotel. And in the event that Nate Diaz loses, I would say the likelihood of their teams not fighting afterwards is extremely slim. That's real talk. If Nate Diaz wins, I think that probably goes off without a hitch. If Nate loses, they're fighting, dude. That's my hypothesis. They're going to fight afterwards. And I am going to tell people to film because that video will go viral. Anyway, that's what I got. Love you guys. Peace.